everybody's popping in here. Sorry, I'm over here doing my own thing, trying to be fancy with my comments. I am just getting in here because can't help it when I'm trying to mind my own business and brush my teeth and like an idea comes in. Ooh, seeing a little orb there. And an idea comes in. So, hey guys, welcome. I was brushing my teeth, preparing to come out here and come in here. And I thought, you know what? I know that there's so much going on right now for everybody. And I just popped a comment in there that might be a little crazy. There's so much going on. Everybody's moving through stuff, right? We're in this transition. We're moving in to, you saw the orb, Jen? Let me get this off my lap so I can concentrate. Hey, Nicole. Drop those hearts if you feel so called, just to kind of share what we're all moving through right now. Like, we're here. Happy New Year, 2023, right? I'm like fresh off of doing all of the Empowerment Pack January month ahead readings. We just did our full moon reading. So like I have all the feels coming in for like really feeling into everything that's going on for people right now, whether they're moving through physical illness, injuries, finding a home and feeling safe and secure and stable, and financial concerns, and making plans for the future, connecting in with really being like stuck in our heads and like over analyzing things and churning things around. So I kind of like dropped all the hearts in there, representing those different chakras, the energetic bodies that we have moving here, these centers that move energy in our body. Thank you. I love seeing. So again, this is not, hey, whatever you're comfortable, you can just be a wild card, but just know that we're all here moving through different things. And, it's so true. You never know what other people are dealing with, what all's on their plate, how much you really have in common when it comes to the things that we struggle with, Debbie, I see the blue for the throat chakra, expressing ourselves, communicating. And it's like, once we start sharing, then we can say, by the way, Mercury is in retrograde, and Mercury is the planet of communication. So we're in this time period where we're very likely to be struggling with communication, literally feeling sometimes like we're speaking different languages, right? And all kinds of other frustrations that come from that, technical problems, snafus, all the usual stuff, travel delays, all those things too, that then create a whole other host of frustrations and things that come out. I'm seeing like a lot of beautiful color here because, hey, it's all about being where we are in a present moment, being where we are. All the things, Rob, I see you. And I'm sending you so much love and just feeling it for everybody. And know that we're all here experiencing these things in different ways. So I don't know, I'm just trying to brush my teeth and mind my own biz to get here on time. But I'm putting that out there to say that we're all here together. And, another thing that came up in all these January readings is like, in some ways it might feel like a 13th month, an extension of, 2022, and continuing to like tie up those loose ends, licking our wounds, getting our bearings, figuring out what is coming with me, what's staying behind. And I don't want to repeat too much. I know I've put a lot out there recently, and I don't know what everyone has had a chance to see. But you see, I have here a certain card that I can't stop talking about. Hey, Deidre, the Chariot, because 2023 is a 7-year. 7 is the major arcana card of the Chariot. Hey, Colleen, I see you. Big love. And it's all about movement, right? Or immobility. So I don't want to repeat a lot of the stuff that's out there, but I did put out, I have out, especially on my YouTube channel, it's pinned here in the group, the different messages that came in. It's just like a framework for 2023, and so much of it has been coming up already as far as the self-care, guidance, and that keyword was decision. And so that message was sometimes no decision is the best decision. And then there's been all these cards coming up about being at a crossroads, tied up, bound, unable to make decisions, in our head, all kinds of swords energy. So, decisions. So it's like these paths that we're being shown. We're kind of just like standing here at that place, letting the GPS recalibrate to figure out where to next. Hey, Brittany, you made it. Babies are in bed? Not mine. We had to order out tonight, and they're still finishing up their dinner. So let's get into these cards. I didn't mean to give this big intro, but I just wanted to talk about, hey, we just had the full moon in Cancer. We're still kind of moving through all of that energy. Oh, you still got the youngest hanging on. And so that's all the feels. And so that brought in another little video I put out there. I'm calling them chariot chats, and I think I'm gonna keep it going. I was inspired to just like, hey, here I am. I'm in the car. I just pulled into my driveway. I'm in mom's taxi all the time. Let me pop in here. So I talked about this message that might not come up, and it'll be backwards anyway. Family is my rock. And that's an extension of the Cancer energy. Cancer is the home. Cancer is family. Cancer is the water element. It is the sign of the moon. I will, Mel. Thank you for tuning in. And so all the things could be coming up. Par for the course, and that's the little comforts I take when things are tough, when things are intense. If you are particularly feeling these energies, at least I can know I'm where it's at. That's what's happening. That's literally the energy that is streaming onto the planet. Retrograde in Mars, Mercury. We've got that Cancerian energy coming in with all the feels. So I go, oh, okay, so that's what's up, and not that that's the only thing, stuff happens, as we know. The core message that came through with the Chariot is, I'm on this journey. I'm taking this ride. I can't control the traffic. I can't control the weather. I can't control the construction, the detours, the flight delays, the lost luggage. I can't control those things, but I can control my attitude, my actions and reactions. How am I going to experience this journey? So that's kind of where we're at, is like being like, where are we? Getting our bearings, and then deciding, how we're going to take the journey, what's coming with us, And so I just kind of wanted to have that baseline for us as we dive into our first live of the year, our first live of January. I had hoped to get on here last weekend, would have been perfect, New Year's Day on a Sunday, but family called. And they are my rock. No, it was wonderful. We were seeing family for the holidays, but but I'm happy to be here now. So let me tell you about the deck we're using this month. It's one of my absolute favorites, and many of you might have this deck if you're into tarot. Yeah, I put it on for you. I wanted to show you my gorgeous, gorgeous ring. Love. It's actually, I don't want to know why, but it's fitting me a little bit better right now. Salt. Anyway, it was a little big because it's a big ring, guys. So I was saying how like I wanted my reading ring, and I wanted it for my middle finger, but I can't get it over my knuckle. And of course, Jen so graciously was like, girl, send it back to me and I'll size it for you. I'm like, no, it's kind of grown on my ring finger. It's just that some days on a good day, it's a little wobbly, but it's gorgeous. And I love it. Love it so much. Salt. Light Seers, that's the tarot deck we're using. Light Seers Tarot. I can't talk about this deck enough. It's one of my soul decks. I absolutely love it. I adore the creator. Everything about this deck. And I was feeling called back to my roots. We've had a lot of fun with the different seasonal decks, and I will bring them back. But this month I'm using, and we might pepper in some others in any given Sunday, but I'm using the Light Seers. And so we're going to use this deck for our week ahead spread here, our 5 cards. And then I also have the Sacred Destiny by Denise Lynn for an oracle pull for us. You don't have this one, Colleen? It's amazing. And well, now you're getting to see some of the cards anyway from your readings, but we'll get a look at this. I know, Mel, right? So amazing. And the website is even better. So like, it's a great place to go if you're interested beyond the reading. Let me figure out how I had this last time, because I feel like I'm like holding it. She has every single card in the deck side by side with the traditional Rider-Waite tarot. So it's a great way to see that and some beautiful messages. So, or ask me. So I'm sorry, try to pay attention to all of the comments while I just yak away over here. So we're going to do our 5-card spread, and that's where we're going to feel into the energies for this week ahead collectively. So we're feeling into our collective energies. And then after that, I'll open it up for personal card pulls. So if you're interested in a personal card pull for you, you might have a specific question for the week ahead or just want a general message. You can comment at any time. We keep a list so that when we open it up, even if you have to jump off or you're not here, it'll be there for the replay for you. So you're welcome to ask for a card pull. So let me see a spray. Oh, I have my 2 hiding back here. I'm going to use these. So we've got our higher self awareness and intuition spray for connecting in with our higher selves, because that's who we're inviting into the driver's seat. Right? That's who's getting into the driver's seat of the chariot for us, our higher self, our wise self. And then also in favor of the Cancer full moon, we're bringing in the Archangel Zadkiel energy for forgiveness and transmutation, because full moon is bringing in an opportunity for us to look at what we are releasing, shedding, forgiving, letting go. So I'm going to just bring all that in here. Bringing in our higher self energy spray, which is this beautiful purple and gold energy, connecting us into these upper chakras, really connecting in with our own. I just realized this was not planned. I have like a continuum going on. And this always reminds me of the High Priestess in this deck. We'll see if she comes out, or else I'll show you. High Priestess is our intuition. It is the divine feminine energy, and it's this looks like the card actually. So we're really aligning here with our higher self. And we're bringing in that vibration of forgiveness and transmutation. And transmutation is a fancy word for, I want to use another fancy word, alchemizing, but taking what it is that's no longer serving, the excess, and transmuting it, changing its form into energy that is forward moving in a positive direction. I really associate it with the flame, the fire of burning things into ash to release them into the universe. But also then on the other side, as we prepare for the new moon in 2 weeks, which I'm all about, the age of Aquarius season, it's all coming in already. I'm trying to contain myself, but that's going to be all about our wishes and what we're manifesting, what we're calling in. And so as well with the fire and the ash of transmuting and sending it out, we're also putting into it our wishes, our intentions, and we're sending those out into the universe as well. So we got family as my rock over here, and I'm going to start. Let's see if I got this right. Shuffling for our week ahead and our jumpy cards. Strength card winking at us. Okay. So Monday is the position for kind of a preview into the week ahead, what we might expect, overarching energy. And I'll judge this around and see if it's good for us to have that there. Okay, so I know you got Debbie in for a card pull first. All right. Awesome. This is going to be for our collective spread here. And we're going to get a card for Monday to kind of set the tone for this week ahead. Monday's energy for us collectively. Ooh, awesome. Ace of Wands. Tuesday is a potential block or challenge. So feeling into any potential blocks or challenges that may come about. So what might we expect this week? Seven of Swords, okay. Wednesday's a midweek blessing. A midweek blessing. Ooh, we got a twofer. Ooh, okay. I see you. And Thursday is how are we growing? How are we growing? Oh, good. Jen's pulling it all together. Thank you, Jen. I know, like I'm all over the place. I just put that shout out early for the card pull because I know sometimes people have to jump off, and I didn't want you to miss the opportunity to comment for later after this 5-card spread, 6-card spread so far. So, how are we growing? We have the Hierophant. And I do note that it came up reversed. However, I don't get hung up on reverse cards. I just feel intuitively into what I think that is coming up for. Hey, Billy Joe, welcome. We're just getting the cards out for our week ahead spread, and Friday is going to be the wrap up of the week. Okay, 6 of Pentacles, awesome. Okay, so jumping right in here with our Monday sort of overarching our week ahead, we've got the Ace of Wands, and the Wands suit of the tarot is going to be all the fire, all the sparks, all the ideas, and that's going to be connecting in with Sacral Chakra energy, solar plexus energy. So in the beginning, I have the hearts there as far as like where might you be feeling challenged or moving through some things right now. The Wands are in that arena. You know, they point to that area, and it's the fire element. But what's really awesome about aces is that aces bring in offerings, new beginnings, fresh energy. So one wand coming in here, and you see where it's positioned. I mean, look how these cards are so gorgeous. Right here in the third eye is this one spark, this one idea, this one aha, this one a bit of clarity that comes in. And you see how that happens? By going within. Just not looking without and asking everybody for their opinion or checking too many other places, because it's coming right here, going within. And so we see this opportunity coming in this week for us to tune in, right? And doing so again from that higher perspective, that higher lens. And there's a lot of energy that's been coming in about detaching and observing from a non-judgmental, neutral place. I'm the observer right now. I'm just taking a look at everything that's going on and looking for that clarity. So we have that Ace of Wands coming in right out the gate. And again, this can show up. Hey, Tanisha, welcome. We're just talking about Monday's energy right here. Coming in to kind of highlight the fact that creative ventures, and again, expression of what your passions are, your work. A lot of times wands can speak to your work. So maybe some new messages or new beginnings in your work, in your creativity, in the realm of what you are birthing, you know, something new into your life. So we have that beautiful energy coming in on Monday. Now, two of these right here, like the crunchy guys. So one of them is the 7 of Swords, okay? 7 of Swords is a card. Again, the Swords is the suit that's going to talk about the air element. It's going to be its thoughts, its intellect, it's up in the head. This guy, and I've talked about him before because I talked about don't let anyone steal your joy, not even your sneaky self. Okay, so one way that I read this card sometimes is thinking about all these ideas, and there's somebody here that's really noisy about it, like really having a lot to say, this one. And so that feels like whether it's in here or out there, somebody is like really getting in your ear with some negative talk, you know, something that's really low vibe, that's not helping to raise you up and bring you clarity. So a block or a challenge can be some of that negative, I keep wanting to say self-talk, like it's just turning it back around to ourselves. Yes, the 7 of Swords can also be talking about a situation outside of you that's about sneakiness or deception or like betrayal or someone trying to like sneak off with your swords. Okay, so there could be that for some people, and I never mean this in like a ominous, threatening way. I don't go there. I talk about just understanding the energy that's around us, and we're just feeling into from a place of empowerment. See that? Place of empowerment, we are just being aware of the energy that's around us, but it can be sneaky. And that's why I feel like it's inside here, because there can be that negative self-talk, that voice that kind of can set us off kilter sometimes, because that's the voice that's telling us all, like, shoulding all over ourselves, all right? All the things that we should be doing. It's the new year. I should have resolutions and goals and intentions, and I should be going to the gym, and I should be eating better, and I should this and that, and should. Or the not enough-isms, the comparisonitis, the looking around, all that kind of sneaky energy that's not bringing any value to your life. It's certainly not going to sustain your chariot on this journey, that kind of talk. Now, one of the really cool journal prompts that came up in our empowerment group, we were talking about the full moon reading and a journal prompt, and it said, at the end of the day, what matters most to me is ... And if I fill it in with what matters most to me, and just put that out there, like, you know, free form writing, then everything else that wants to come in, it's a real easy checks and balance to my what matters to me the most at the end of the day. Hey, Erin, no worries. Welcome. Then we're saying, does that fit in with at the end of the day what matters most to me? Because if at the end of the day what matters most to me is like somebody else's opinion or what's going on over here or what the latest social media trend would have you believe is important, or whatever it is, however it shows up for you, no, that's not on my list of at the end of the day what's most important for me. So it makes that decision making a lot easier to decide what I'm going to invest my energy into, what I'm going to put my thoughts into. So, you know, possible challenges and blocks this week is the headsy stuff, is the swordsy stuff, is the getting around, like listening to that voice. If it is on the outside, if it is coming from external forces, then we look at an opportunity to really reinforce our boundaries and to really stand in our power. And then we get to be the one that's speaking our truth and expressing with great clarity of cutting through and bringing out the truth of the matter for us, and as far as what we are going to give our energy to and what we're not. So, you know, that can vary for everybody, but this is not a surprising, this card does bring its own challenges, and it's an energy that, you know, can help us to sort of reflect on what might be coming in and burn through the stuff that just doesn't fit with what matters to us at the end of the day or at the end of the week. So now we look at, I think we got our two for right here. Yes. So this is our midweek blessing. Now, let me show you this card to tell me when you look for the blessings in this card. Wow, right? That's a potent card right there. This is the Three of Swords. And this is definitely one of the most visceral versions I've ever seen of this card, because it's like literally, you know, piercing through the heart, pulling apart at the seams, right? And that's because the Three of Swords does talk about loss and grief and heartbreak, right? One of the messages of the Three of Swords is about the silver lining, about the storms that come in, about the breakdown necessary for the breakthrough, for the clearing, for the rainbow that comes on the other side of the storm. And so, you know, this card is saying it's a midweek blessing in understanding that for those of us who have that broken heart emoji, for those of us who are feeling our heart chakra, you know, being squeezed in some way or feeling challenged in that area, moving through things that at the end of the day, we would not have said we wanted to sign up for, right? Or why we would want that energy to be around us. Absolutely, Erin. Sometimes we have to go through those storms to get to the calm on the other side. Storms serve a purpose. You know, they are a natural part of the balance of nature and the environment, and removing away the excess and the debris. And when the wind comes through and pulls away the leaves, the dead leaves and the dead wood and all the different things, that storms do serve a purpose, and that sometimes those things are not illuminated until after the storm, right? And so this is a very specific energy. And then the other card that wanted to come up is the King of Pentacles. And so, the Pentacles energy is bringing us into the root chakra. So this was swords, which is the air element, and it brings us into the crown. I also associate it with the throat chakra because the air element of expression. You're right, Tanisha. The storm is necessary. Without the storm, there would be no rainbow. That's right. And the root chakra energy is going to talk about our safety, security, our feelings of rooted and groundedness. And the King of Pentacles is very stable and sturdy and wise. And he's just like chilling here with this wolf, which I like to associate too with like shape-shifting energy. And he's in this like library. So it just feels like there's a lot of wisdom here. There's a lot of wisdom, and there's a lot of wisdom here in this group. And I feel that squeeze, huggy squeeze, not like the squeeze of the community, to say that, again, what wanted to come in here was about understanding that we're all moving through these different storms, these different episodes of weather, that are passing through. And within just this group, and I usually will post this video elsewhere too. So this also goes out to in my YouTube and on Instagram. I share this with them as well, to say that these little nuggets of wisdom, and I'll just say right now, like a personal example is coming up for me, is that I moved through 3 separate, bouts of illness, of being under the weather, from October through, still working on things, but feeling so much better. Jennifer, one day, spent her morning sending me all of these messages explaining to me about, some homeopathic remedies and things that I could use to really help me to move through. So she had this nugget of wisdom, this knowledge, this info, and I saw it happening. The conversation started because others of you that are here now in this group had a chat going, sharing these nuggets, sharing your wisdom, right? Helping each other to move through whatever comes our way, right? So I'm just feeling this blessing of recognizing, this library, this rich library of resources that you have around you that you might not realize, right? And so the first step is to share and communicate and realize, So I don't know, I feel all this energy coming in to say that Jen is the best. That's what the cards say. Jen is the best. Actually, guys, Jen and Rob are the Queen and King of Pentacles to me. I told them that a long time ago. No, I know Rob. You don't look like him. Well, the beard, I don't, but the traditional, if you know the traditional tarot, the King and Queen of Pentacles are like in the grapes with the richness and the robes, and it's like majestic, like it is majestic. And they are, because the King of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles are generosity embodied. Like it's like generous of spirit and heart and of all the resources, of all the pentacles, all the things. So it's kind of funny that it is the King of Pentacles, and that's who they are to me when I think about, in terms of tarot, which I spend a lot more time thinking about that way than the average person. She definitely has the biggest heart and truly cares about everyone. And it's like, how do you bottle up all of that goodness? Because it truly is a blessing. It really is. And love you, Jen. Okay, so let's see what is on deck for Thursday. Oh yeah, this was our Hierophant. Okay, so let's see. Let me take a This is our first major arcana card, right? Yeah, and that just means, for those of you who might not be familiar, significant stops along our fool's journey. We're all on this journey. The tarot is this beautiful system that's showing us these archetypes, these signs and symbols of the different stages along the way. I know this group is familiar with the Hierophant. It's Erin's card. Here's another version, Erin. I don't think I ever used this deck in the lives. This is yet another version of the Hierophant. And that is the energy of the spiritual guru of ascension. So let me think about this. We're talking about, how are we growing? How are we ascending? How are we learning and expanding, right? So we have here the Hierophant, and we see this stairway that is leading in this upwards direction. And again, that's to say, I know, Erin, right? You're like, I want a new card. This is for all of us. And it really is a beautiful energy, because it speaks to, very much like I was just saying, is, but also I would say, like, unlikely sources of learning new things about ourselves and about others, you know? So it does feel like this connection to all of that energy of being in sometimes the teacher, sometimes the student, you know, and all of us being on different steps along this journey. We're all in different places on the stairs. And, you know, you notice that after a certain point, you can't see what's up there. You know, it's not illuminated for us yet. And I usually say about him, like, I can't tell if he's laughing or crying, right? It's like finding joy in the journey, of like really recognizing that it's all part of the experience. It's all part of what makes our journey ours, you know? So I feel like, how are we growing is maybe like, especially when you're in this like moment of, I can look back at 2022 and I have this like moment of clarity about seeing like the big picture, perhaps, or we have an opportunity to, of everything that transpired and unfolded. And I always say, like, you know, everybody has different feels about this. This is the beginning of a new calendar year, right? This is not, you know, we know that that's just what it is. It's the beginning of a new calendar year. So it's a marking in time that kind of gets that hype of being like this place of new beginnings and fresh starts. And so most, you know, often it's people may enter into this period in kind of a, you know, hopeful place, no matter how much the previous year sucked, no matter what happened in the previous year, there's a kernel of hope and new beginning there. And so, the more times we do this, and each time you come back to it, you're coming back to it with your new lenses, all the things that you've gleaned over the past, you know, just using the calendar year as a marker, 12 months, you know, all those experiences, the good, the bad, the ugly, have all been a part of collecting goodies for your library, right? For your library. And your pentacles are all of those goodies. It's all of those tokens of knowledge, of wisdom, of perspectives, you know, that you're gaining through all your experiences. So we're growing in a way that enables us to continue this forward trajectory, but at your own pace, in your own way. If you have to stop for a while on a step, if you have to go back a couple of steps, you know, that is all part, again, of your unique journey. And maybe we're growing into having a little more grace and compassion for ourselves. If you look at all those hearts that you're carrying right now, all those symbols of the things that you're moving through and trying to carry up those steps with you, maybe a little more perspective gaining as far as giving yourself a little grace and compassion about that, you know, and others as well. And recognizing that everybody's on a different place on the stairway. Nobody better, worse. It's just about energy. It's about a frequency that we hold in any given moment. And being able to look at that person, again, family is my rock, like, oh, okay, I see you. I see what stairway you're on. I see where you are. I see it. You know, in a non-judgmental, I know, in a non-judgmental observer way. And so I think that you may find, I feel this way, that like growing in that capacity to hold a bigger space for that. Okay. And then finally, wrapping up the week, more pentacles. So this feels good because these are like little deposits into your spiritual bank account, into your little nuggets of wisdom, into your library. The Six of Pentacles is the balance of giving and receiving. It's like reciprocity, giving and receiving, and this exchange and the balancing of scales. And so, again, tagging on to the 2023 collective messages that I had put out there last week, thinking about recalibrating those scales. I mentioned the self-care card decision. Sometimes no decision is the best decision. That message featured scales. And so really this card also refers to the scales in balance, finding that balance between. And so pentacles are energy. That's our commodity. That's, you know, whether it is physical, money, time, energy, whatever commodities, really being discerning about how we're spending that, you know, and coming into balancing those scales a bit. So I think there's a lot of that coming up for a lot of people too, in many different ways. But nonetheless, there's like this frequency of feeling into balancing those scales, looking again, at the end of the day, what matters most to me is. So where am I putting my pentacles? What am I investing in? If what matters to me is this, then again, I'm using that as my checks and balances to calibrate this scale, is how I feel. So it's kind of like coming in here with this week to take a look at, you know, what's coming up for us to move through and to acknowledge about, and again, in a very, in a celebratory way, because we're celebrating the fact that even though the weather sometimes gets us down, right? Bringing us back into that analogy with the Three of Swords, it is necessary in order to clear and create space and to bring in the rainbow. So that's really beautiful. Hey, Kendra, welcome. So those are our week ahead energy cards that have come up. I will photograph these. I will put them here in the comments so that we have a nice picture of them, and we'll take a look at them throughout the week as they pop up and just kind of feel into the little bits that came up here, and then see how that intersects with maybe the cards that come up for you personally today and how your week unfolds. I'll pull the Sacred Destiny card while we're going to get ready to do the personal card pulls. So I know we have a list going, and if anybody else would like a personal card pull, just comment and we'll get you on the list. This is just a little extra oracle message for us collectively coming from the Sacred Destiny, which is a gorgeous deck and always has really beautiful messages for us. So as we move in here through that first week of January, and now we're heading into the next one, what do we need to know? You guys got it. I see everybody coming in. Great. Okay, Sacred Destiny card for us all. Ooh, fulfillment. And we've got the peach, the ripe peach, and the full moon. So this is actually really good because it's talking about things coming into fullness. We've come through this full cycle of this moon phase, and we are now moving into a new phase, but we've got that ripe peach and this idea of fulfillment. The peach always does remind me of the sweetness of life, right? The juice, but also the pit, you know, and that also is a part of the journey, is the pits too. But I feel that in this full moon energy that we've just come through, we have the sweetness coming in of the peach, also known as the butt emoji line. I'm gonna just look in here because I love her interpretations and I want to see what she has to say about fulfillment. It is the laden peach tree. And it talks about this being a symbol of spring, which that's another thing. I talked about, you know, calendar year, schmalendar year. Here we are. It's like a 13th month. We're kind of getting our bearings. We're moving through. Spring is feeling big. You know, March is usually a point where things really, the juices really get going. And this right out the gate is giving a reference to spring, about the peach tree blooming early. And it's a symbol of spring. Of course, it's a symbol of like fertility and all of that energy. Great fulfillment. And then it's actually sharing some of the different references of different cultures, saying that the Korean tradition is that the peach represents happiness, riches, honors, and longevity. In the Renaissance, peaches represented the heart and love, and speaking the truth from one's heart. Beautiful. So the sacred landscape is bringing in this message. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry, you can't see it. The sacred landscape is bringing in the message that says fulfillment is at hand. So no matter what is occurring in your life, put your attention in what is splendid, pleasurable, and luscious. Find bliss in the moment. Love fully, deeply, without hesitation. Cherish your friendships. Fill your life with people, experiences, and places that give you delight. Let go of people and things that don't feel empowering and that drag your energy down. You no longer need to put the needs of others ahead of your own needs. If you've had any health issues, a ripe peach represents a return to better health. Yes, please. So savor your life with gusto and with grace. Perfect. Just what we've been saying. Experience and embrace life in all its permutations. If you want to conceive a baby, okay, specific messages here, or a new project, or start a new relationship, this card is an excellent omen for a great outcome. Perfect. So the juicy peach coming in here with fulfillment and this idea of coming into fullness and also letting things fall off that are no longer resonating. So we're letting go, we're shedding, and then we're also embracing the sweetness of life. And again, I can't control the weather. I can't control the traffic. I can control my attitude. So the guidance is to look at all of the blessings in your life. Talked about this a lot in December. But she just said about looking at all of the things in your life that fulfill you and bring you. Colleen, what? Shop's closed? This shop is also closed. And no grandbabies, please. No grandbabies. We're not ready. Okay? 17, 14. Okay. Let's get into our personal card pulls. I know that Debbie is first, right? I know everybody usually just wants a general message. If anybody asks for anything specific, Jen, just let me know if there's anything specific there. Looks like, girls, we're going to be working on a lot of projects. We're birthing new projects, okay? Not babies. I love my babies. I do. I know, Colleen. Debbie's first. Feeling into a message for Debbie. No babies, no grandbabies over here right now, okay? All right. Lots of projects, though. Ooh, Debbie. That one wanted to fall right out for you. Love it. It's the wheel. Wheel of Fortune. So you got a major arcana card coming up for this week ahead. Card 10, right? And it's the wheel. And I love this version. Those red fuzzy dice tell me for you to, it's a fortuitous turn of the wheel, moving in a positive direction. It speaks to new seasons, new years, moving into a new phase in your life, you know, finishing something up. The 10, of course, is speaking to endings and new beginnings. The wheel turns and they're like gears here. And I love how they look like compasses because they're really like focusing on where to next and where you're headed and finding some balance in. And it looks like there could be a lot of different gears in motion for you right now. So really trying to find your balance and get your bearings, right? But there is this like happy-go-lucky energy of the dice, the fuzzy dice, that feel like, you know, taking a chance or stepping out into something new, maybe unknown, to give something a try, you know? But the Wheel of Fortune, the wheel here, as it's called, brings forward typically a very fortuitous something new coming in for you. And I feel like Again, also balance, bringing in balance too, because we see here like the light and the dark, and the idea of bringing balance to those things in order to be able to manage all of these gears that are in motion, you know, and some of them take up more space in your life than others, right? But it really is a matter of bringing in those scales and the Six of Pentacles energy of recalibrating and looking at the end of the day, what matters to me is, right? So if there's something really clear to you that is saying like to take a chance on me, I'm getting a little, is that ABBA? Song. I'm not singing tonight. Take a chance on me. It's like, can I do that? Can I make it work? You know, balance it, shift some things around in order to make it happen. This is saying, yeah, try it, take that chance, roll that dice, because the energy is ripe for that for you. Beautiful. All right, let's see. Ooh, Alice, you need baby vibes? We are all, look, we're all going to give them to you right now. Yes, you get it. You get the baby vibes. All the peaches for you. And this card too, also, this is also a great card for fertility and for the sparks coming in too. And that was our overarching energy for the week ahead. Deidre's next. Okay, awesome. It is ABBA. I knew you knew, Nicole. Nicole and I sing to each other. All right, let's see what comes up here for Deidre. Deidre coming up in here next Saturday. I can't wait. So excited. All right, let's see what we have coming in here for Deidre for this week. I can't see Rob's yet. I see the comment, but I can't tell what the emojis are. Card for Deidre. Knight of Pentacles. So here we have the energy of the Knight of Pentacles coming in here. And this card is very like steady, very grounded, very stable. So, and I love this because it's like you're carrying this one particular pentacle with you forward, but like look at all this stuff that you've dropped, this little trail that you're leaving behind. So this could definitely speak to some like things that you've been shedding and releasing, or again, the pentacles, it's like things that maybe aren't that valuable to you anymore, aren't that important for you, that you're kind of able to walk away from now, you know, moving forward. But you know, pentacles are slow moving, so it's like a steady forward movement, right? It's not like you're racing, tearing out of here, but maybe you're taking something really of value with you, that's going to help you on the next leg of your journey. And again, all this stuff that we're leaving behind, we say thank you for the purpose that it served, they served, however, whatever these things represent for you. I just saw another orb, that they represent for you, that the Knight of Pentacles is moving on very steadily. I'm seeing a black horse too, and it feels like, I got another song. Stop it. The Dark Horse song from Katy Perry. I'm not singing tonight, Sandalphon. So the Dark Horse is like you know, like you might have been feeling like you're the Dark Horse. You're coming in here and it's like you move through all this stuff and these things like paved the way for you as you move forward. And let's look at the blessings right here, because we're in the realm of the Pentacles and we're talking about what we're shedding and leaving behind. This is a midweek blessing to acknowledge, you know, all of that was not for naught, right? Because you've got your big pentacle here strapped on your back, and here we're heading to seeing it realized in fulfillment, right? Fulfilled with this library of abundance, all the pentacles. So it feels like this journey, trajectory that you're on, keep going. Keep going. That's what I feel there for you. Let me see. I can't, like, Rob's emojis. Oh, yeah, well, he's definitely dancing. Okay, you're doing the ABBA dance, aren't you? He's like, you might not be singing, but I am. That's great. All right, let me see. Am I upside down? Who is next? Sorry, it's bath time here, and I hear them singing. They're being a little loud if you can hear them. Mel, yay. All right, Mel, let's get you a card, girl. See what wants to come up for Mel. Message for Mel. Coming into 23 like a wrecking ball. Does anybody see that? New Year's Eve special? Isn't that Miley? Did she sing that song? I love Dolly. I was watching for Dolly. Getting our card for Mel. Yeah. Yeah, Smiley. And I know that she can sing. She can sing. All right, card for Mel. Ooh, Mel. Yeah. All right, knights. We got all these knights up in here, and that's like just like fresh energy of like coming in here hot for you, girl. Look at that. And you got a dark horse too. So I love this one because she's just like wild. The wands, the fire. She looks like you. I love it. It's like moving to the beat of your own drum, right? Finding your rhythm, but it's all the sparks, all the things that are fueling you forward. So yeah, so you've seen this before. So I don't know if I've ever used it on here or you've seen it, but yeah, this is a beautiful card and a beautiful energy that's bringing in a lot of fiery, creative energy. And there's an abundance of wands here. I see 4, and the 4 wands for me are all about like building your structure, like the foundation, like our 4 of wands. That's a card, that's Kendra's card. That card comes up a lot, but the 4 of wands is about, you know, the bones of what we're building. And so there's like all these fiery ideas, these irons in the fire that you have going creatively, expressing to the beat of your own drum, moving to your own rhythm, right? And they're all lined up here all around you, and you're in the center, driver, ready to go. So I love this. Is really, and I hope you're feeling this energy too, because it's definitely like building up a lot of forward momentum, you know? Yeah, these are like my favorite cards. As I said in the beginning, I was like, this is one of my soul decks. It's gorgeous. It's amazing. But I love this because the Knight of Wands has definitely got that fire under their peaches, ready to rock for sure, like getting ready to fire up. So this is beautiful for you. I love it for you too. That's great. And like I said, Lightseer's Tarot, I think is the website, but she has every single card. So every card that comes up tonight, you can actually see the full Oracle Tarot interpretation that's on there through Chris Ann, and like some beautiful additional messages. And they're all for you. Whatever resonates for you, feel free to dip into. So awesome. Beautiful. She's got fire under her peaches. Is that a song? No, just kidding. It probably is, actually. Who's next, Jen? Robert. All right, Rob, let's get you a card here. Card for Rob. Four wands, just 4 swords just winked at me. You got that card already. Being laid up, going within, resting. I know you know that one already. Card for Rob, please. Let's see. Okay. So we've got the 7 of Pentacles coming in. And this is a card of pausing, right, in the work. Because here there's this moment being taken to kind of take a look at the fruits of our labor, but also, you know, all of the seeds that we have planted, stepping back and sort of assessing and feeling into that. And it's a pause. So we know that, you know, what you're working through right now is that you're not working in your usual capacity, and not by choice, you know? And so you're in this place of waiting to just, I missed it, I wasn't looking. Waiting to see, you know, what is coming up here, you know, what is growing from whatever's going on underneath. And right away when I see that, I think of this beautiful quote that I'm going to try to somewhat get, which is saying that when it is dark and you feel as if you've been buried, perhaps you've been planted, so bloom, right? And so that's another analogy to the metamorphosis of being in that cocoon and knowing, you got the paws down, calm like a caged tiger. Yeah. Jen can attest to that. The butterfly goes into that cocoon, literally having to turn to mush in order to go through that transformation, and yet doesn't know that it's going to emerge the butterfly, right? What's on the other side? What's growing? What is germinating? What's going on down there, right? And you're sitting here just waiting to see. There's this pause in that. And so the Four of Swords winked at me. I think it's the last card you got. That was the one that was about resting, being still. And so, you know, that's your prescription. That's what you've been working on. You know, again, not by choice, a forced pause, but you know, this is an energy that also says to persist, perseverance, don't give up, because after this pause comes the Eight of Pentacles, which is again like the focusing on your work, your art, your creation, and it just gets better from there. So there's definitely, you know, just this lull in the process. It's the particular step that you're on right now. What can you learn from this step while you're here? I'm here. I can't control the traffic. I can't control the weather. What I can control is my attitude, my actions and reactions to where we're at. I'm hearing some really funny sounds coming from out in the hallway. I think my daughter's playing with her microphone. So, you know, just being as much a piece of that as you can. I'm a peacock. I gotta fly. That's a quote from Marky Mark. All right. Well, peacock, listen, sometimes you strut your stuff and sometimes you just have to allow yourself to fluff your feathers a little bit. All right. You can put that down. That was my quote. No. So, you know, this feels appropriate for you just because it really is about waiting for the results. Yeah. More ways than one, right? Waiting for the results. Damn. Yeah. You're waiting for the results. How am I going to experience this trip? Because that's the only thing that I have control over. So I'm going to focus on being the best damn laid up patient that I can be for me. So the weather comes through, we experience it, but it never lasts forever. Never lasts forever. The storm never lasts forever. So coming out on the other side, having new awarenesses. So we'll have you on to fill us all in once that comes in for you, to share with all of us, because it is coming, you know, it's not permanent. All right. Who is next? Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I wanted to spray for you, Rob, the Emerald Renewal and Recovery. Nicole's next. Okay, so this is like emerald green, comes into the heart chakra, but it's also about healing and renewal and recovery. So going through a period of renewal and recovery. And so that's for everyone. But I felt I had gotten a hit that I wanted to spray that for you. So bringing in that energy as well. Okay, so this is going to be for Nicole. Okay. Card for Nicole. You're welcome. Okay. Oh my gosh. Who said this to me today? I don't know if it was you. Who said it to me? one of you girls, we talked about this card. If it was you, girl, I'm just gonna get up. I'm trying to remember because I know we had like a lot of messages today. This is the Five of Swords. And this particular version was about, well, the conversation I'm thinking of was about having a headache and working through headaches when this card comes up. But the Five of Swords is it wasn't you today. It was one, I'm trying to remember because it's been a long day, but like this card came up that we were talking about. It was Carrie. It was Carrie, and she's not on. Carrie was talking about this card. Nonetheless, that gives us a little ping, and there's a reason that came in today for me to mention, because, I mean, you can glean that here, but look at all those crows. We were talking about the crows. Five of Swords is that victory, but at what cost? Is the juice worth the squeeze? And that's where we put down the sword and no longer engage. This is that hollow victory. Somebody's celebrating a hollow victory or thinking that they've emerged the winner when actually it's not an integritous win. So that's like the traditional meaning. We've seen that before. I know we've talked about that energy, and certainly that might resonate for you. But we also circle back to what's been coming up here today, talking about the crows, and again, kind of like the Seven of Swords, don't let anyone steal your joy. We've got this one noisy one right here, and then the others are out there in the distance. So this idea, again, of that calling, that voice, you know, that bit that might be giving us a bit of a headache. I feel like the headache was important to mention, and that's the connection that Carrie had said that she has with this card. I mean, perhaps for obvious reasons, that could be coming up as something that could resonate for you about quieting that noise, right? And so whether that's literal noise, and I mean, as I'm saying this, I know that that's something that you might understand as being, you know, in your orbit as of late, is just sort of getting some quiet, some peace, just coming back to center, coming back to the nest, right? And getting that clarity. But also, this can be that nagging voice that we have an opportunity to disconnect from, to clear out, so that we can allow ourselves to tune into, again, at the end of the day, what matters most to me is, and fill in that, you know, and to replace any of that calling with that energy. So there we have the Five of Swords. So that's really just about choosing to step out of that. Yeah. And to be a peacekeeper for yourself. Perfect. I love that. And, you know, that's another one of my favorites is bring your own peace and harmony, like BYOPH. Bring your own peace and harmony. So you are your own peacekeeper. You are the gatekeeper of your peace and your harmony. And so anything that doesn't fit into that, you know, you are at the gate, keeping it peaceful for you. So I never told you that one. Yeah, that's another one that I love. BYOPH. And there's a whole nother layer to that has to do with the pH levels and alkalizing your, oh yeah, that's a good one. I'll have to tell you that one. So yeah, definitely being your own peacekeeper. Awesome. Okay, did I just swirl them up? No, we're good. Okay. Who is next after Nicole? Brittany. All right, Brittany, this one's for you. Ooh, throwing them at me. I'm waiting to see if that High Priestess comes up. Card for Brittany. Oh, you got the Knight of Wands too. So the same card as Mel, we have this energy coming in of moving to your own beat, having those sparks of creativity and passion going. I'm going to bring out the book so we can take a look at bringing some new energy, because I would say, yes, all those things that I said to Mel. And that's tying us into the sacral. It's tying us into our solar plexus, our passions, what lights us up, all the fiery energy. But I want to see what her beautiful affirmation is for the Knight of Wands. Okay. Affirmation for the Knight of Wands says, in the pursuit of the imagined, I manifest this fire with infectious feelings of inspiration. So it's about the feelings of inspiration are infectious. Like it just takes on a life of its own, a beat of its own, like its own rhythm. Charisma, passion, spontaneity, pursuing your dreams, fast energy, enthusiasm. Because like the Knight of Pentacles that came up for Deidre was slow moving. Wands are fast. So there's just a lot of sparks, a lot of ideas. You might be feeling like, again, Ace of Wands over here, a rush of a creative idea come in, or inspiration, very inspiring. It asks you, what have you been dreaming about? So thinking about that. And again, the 4 wands that are there, kind of like marking those posts all around her. It's like a number of different ideas that you may have, another number of different things. And I always think of these wands in this deck as like irons in the fire. Things that you have going that, you know, you're kind of just like now getting to think about enthusiastically pursuing. Look, I'm doing this because I'm going to have to put my glasses on soon. It's getting to be that time of the night. Bravely pursuing the things that inspire you the most. And talking about passion projects, talking about things that you've always wanted to check out and really getting into to doing so, you know, making that space for yourself. And again, I know life and all the responsibilities sometimes keep us from maybe getting to passionately just go out there and do all the things. But you can just pick one wand at a time, you know, just one, and just carve out a little time for yourself to explore that. But lots of creative ideas, lots of things. And I know because I saw you tease that there's a little something going on that you're working on. So this is an awesome card for that. It's a very positive message about all the inspiring ideas and sparks and all the things. Beautiful. Awesome. All right. Let's see who is next. That's great. Billy Joe. Okay, here we go. Card for Billy Joe. Oh, that's not weird. That's a soul resonance right there. That's a physical reaction to a resonance in your soul, right? You're feeling that. That's awesome. I love that. I get goosebumps all the time. Now I'm getting them. You know that. But those are like physical manifestations of a yes, alignment coming in. I love it. Love it. Card here now for Billy Joe. Truth bumps. Yes, I love that. Yeah, that just, you can't even deny when that happens. They're just like, bing. Awesome. All right, Billy Joe, let's get you a card. Woo! Ask and we shall receive. Okay. You guys are all in the aces and the Ace of Pentacles. So Ace of Pentacles, Ace of Wands, new beginnings, messages, offerings, and the Pentacles are all in the money and the material, and here we see the growth. See all those little offshoots that are taking root, right? So we're in this stage of creating, generating pentacle energy here. And so, yeah, primarily like pentacles can be like money. And again, all the energetic things like, you know, our time, our energy, also feelings of like our stability because we're in the root chakra. So kind of feeling, you know, rooted and grounded and in this place of like kind of all things being balanced out. So this is an opportunity. And what I like here is there's growth down here, but there's also growth up here. So there's this as above, so below, like growth coming in all ways. Oh my gosh. Now I got, and this is going to be like a very specific reference because it's the $1 Million Listing. Now I know not everybody's going to be watching that show, but like the one guy's tagline is expansion in all ways, always, like always in all ways. So I'm always working towards expansion in every way. So I feel that I was just thinking like, it's like expansion above, expansion below, in all the areas of life. And, you know, there's more down here than there is up here. And so again, to me, that speaks to our Six of Pentacles, the scales and the balancing and the giving and the receiving, in order to be able to bring some alignment into where our energy is going for our own growth and expansion, you know, and finding a way to balance those scales, because sometimes there's more growth going on in one area of our life than another, just due to demand, due to, you know, whatever is needed, right? But then we see here that up here we have growth happening too. And they all move at their own pace and in their own time and in their own season. So you could be in a specific season right now that ends up demanding more of your time and energy in one area than another. And yet, a nice reminder to tend to those pentacles and balance those scales when we can, where we can. I already know you're working on doing this, in order to continue to, at the end of the day, what matters most to me is. So where I'm putting my pentacles, we're working to align that with that notion. What matters to me at the end of the day? And that's where I'm putting my pentacles. That's where I'm paying attention in the garden. So that's what I'm feeling for you. But again, aces are very positive messages coming in of new beginnings, new growth, new possibilities. So that's beautiful too. Awesome. Okay, let's see. Who is next? The yellow, right? Actually, the yellow got my attention. I was going to say that to you because the yellow is, for me, you know, solar plexus energy coming into our confidence, our courage, you know, bravery, all of that. And of course, bringing in yellow and orange is going to bring in all of that brightness and the energy of the solar plexus and the sacral chakra as well. Awesome. Tanisha. I just remembered I had water. I'm like, ooh, I need a little bit of that. Okay, let's get a card for Tanisha. Card here for Tanisha. Ding, 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 you're the winner. Tanisha got the High Priestess, and now you're going to see what I mean. Awesome. Awesome. You're welcome, Billy Joe. Me too. I'm having a lot of thoughts as well. Look, that's what I was talking about, right? Amazing. She's gorgeous. So, right? We're bringing her in. Divine feminine, High Priestess energy. Going within, right? She knows. And when she's being sassy, and sometimes she is sassy, she says, what are you asking me for? You already know. Okay? So if there's a particular question or thing that you're contemplating right now, if you got any of those swords going on that you're ruminating on, right? The High Priestess steps in as your wise self, your higher self, that when I detach, observe, step back, look at things through different lenses to see how they might be showing up for me, that's where we may realize that we have those answers, right? The answers are already here. It's a gorgeous card. So it brings in that energy. And it has runes on it, which I'm not as familiar with runes, but they're getting my attention right now. So I just want to see if I can find them easily in the book, because she tells us what they are. And if anybody is familiar with runes, I'll hold it up. I just got to see where they are in here. I thought she did. Maybe she doesn't have it in here. Or maybe I just can't see. I might have flipped through too fast. She might not have them in here, and I'm thinking of a different one. So what I'm going to do, because I am getting a ping about that, is I'm going to look in the deck that I know does translate all the runes. And what I'm talking about is up here in these corners. I thought she did, but she doesn't. So I'll take a look to see what these are, because those are universal. It's just that's how they're in this, and I'm not finding it. It might even be on our website. So I will follow up with you on that, because I'm definitely feeling that. But this is really about the embodiment of being in touch with your own inner knowing, your wise self, your intuitive self, your high priestess. And she's like, what are you asking me for? You already know. So something that you are possibly really looking for clarity on is coming up to say, think again. Let me rephrase that. Don't think. Go within. Feel into it. Feel into it, not in the head. So maybe detach from that part and really tune into feeling into it and feeling aligned, getting those goosebumps, getting those truth bumps, getting that feeling of resonance in your body from head to toe is how I'm feeling that there for you. Beautiful. I knew somebody was going to get it. All right. Where are we at? I don't know if we have others. Alice. All right, Alice, you're next. Oh, good, Tanisha. I'm glad. Let's get a card here for Alice. Message for Alice, please. Oh, hey, Aletha. Oh, you're so welcome. Have a great week. Thanks for coming. Ooh, okay. Alice has the Seven of Cups. So this is the card of contemplating some different choices and maybe trying to get clear on things that are a little illusory. You can see here that they're sort of shrouded in a little bit of mystery. And this is where I always give my analogy that I know I shared before about the nature center that I grew up. Well, I was born next to a nature center. I lived there for 3 years. But the thing is, I still remember it. And I don't remember much of anything before I was 7. And when I was 3, I remember this nature center. They had, I went back since I was 3. So, I mean, what I'm talking about happened throughout my youth. But they had these boxes that inside were different things that you could stick your hand in and feel what was in there. And it might have been a snake skin. It could have been a fur pelt. It might have been a pine cone. And there was always this bit of like trepidation about making a choice. Like, ooh, I don't know what's going to be in there. Like, it's going to freak me out if it's a snake skin or whatever it was. And so the Seven of Cups can talk about making decisions without being able to see everything, from a position of not really being able to see all the things. And this version is really cool because she actually has like the reference to like snakes and ladders, which is sort of like a chutes and ladders. I actually found out that's a game in other places in the world. It came from the UK that I heard the reference, but like other people in the world knew what that was. Snakes and ladders is a version of like chutes and ladders that we would know in the US. And it was like, again, the ups, the downs. Am I climbing up? Am I going to come down? Like, and so there's this aspect of like, which one am I going to pick? And so there could be a little bit of that. And to that, I feel like we were mentioning in the very beginning about how Mercury is in retrograde, Mars is in retrograde. We just had this watery, emotional full moon, that there's a bit of fogginess, a bit of like not being totally clear for some people that I have been feeling is really going to dissipate in the middle of the month. Mars is going to go direct, I think, on the 12th, and then Mercury goes direct on the 18th, and then right behind that we have the new moon on the 21st. And it feels like, oh, thank you, Colleen. And it feels like that's going to usher in this new energy. That's going to be a lot more clarity that comes in. So if you're like kind of just having some decisions or thoughts rolling around, or hesitancy about making a choice or knowing which path to take, that's an energy that can come in with the Seven of Cups, is having choices. Oh, good. Okay, so let me just read your comment so I make sure I see everything. Oh, that's awesome. So you wouldn't have been freaked out if there was a snake skin in there because you love nature and all reptiles, animals. That's awesome. Oh, I'm so glad that resonates for you. Yes. So, you know, sometimes it is about taking the chance and going for it and exploring. And other times it can be about just sitting with it and like he's contemplating, a little bead of sweat there, feeling like, okay, you know, like, but don't sweat it, right? So connect in with those signs and symbols that resonate for you to understand maybe some more clarity about your situation. So I'm so glad that that resonated for you. Thank you so much. That's awesome. Okay, there we go. Got it there. So Colleen is next. All right, we're going to get a card here for Colleen. Message for Colleen. Got her. Awesome. Ooh, look who's there. Okay, we got two that popped out. Okay, High Priestess and Four of Wands. We saw this. I'm going to show you the Four of Wands, another gorgeous card. This is a beautiful version. We've talked before about the Four of Wands being in our homes, right? Celebrations. Oh, Colleen, stop. Okay, so Colleen knows for sure, of anybody in the group, the people that are in the empowerment pack, that my phrase for this month is celebrate me home. Whole thing about that, it is in the videos that I've been talking about, the 2023. Coming up as an energy for January about celebrate me home and all the many different things that that might mean. But for you, Colleen, and I'm gonna give you a wink about the Tower card and the things we were talking about with the repurposing of that structure and our homes and the idea of, you know, I mentioned earlier that the Four Wands are like the structure, the bones, right? And being like, figuring out for you, like so I'm getting the ping on the Tower card, is like understanding that we talked in the beginning about the storm serving a purpose and the things that can come through, ultimately ending up, I have to show everybody because this is really a gorgeous card. The things that come through can ultimately end up creating great positive change, bringing in new beginnings and transformation. So in the Tower card in this deck, which Colleen and I have talked about, talks about something suddenly coming along. And in this case, in the picture, it is a storm that knocks out a tree. It's like the most beautiful version of the Tower I've ever seen. And anybody who knows the tarot is going to be like, wow. So this is the Tower card of this deck. Lightning comes along and strikes this tree. And I think maybe that tree was this beautiful, majestic tree that had stood in that forest for centuries. And all of a sudden this storm comes along, strikes it with lightning and brings it down to its stump. You know, this breakage occurs. And here we're actually seeing a little further along. We're actually seeing some of the time that we've been talking about here tonight about what ends up coming on the other side is that this tree is slowly healing in a way as the grasses and the mosses grow over the tree and it becomes a habitat for these animals in the forest. And we see the butterflies here, transformation and change. So this event, this unexpected thing ends up being the thing. You spot a squirrel? Yeah. Ends up being the thing that creates this new. So bringing that into the Four of Wands for you, celebrating me home, as we redefine and reestablish, you know, how we adapt to all of those things, bringing acceptance and adaptation to all of those things, finding our people, our tribe to celebrate with, to celebrate all of the things. Again, like the fulfillment card said in the Peach, is finding all of those juicy moments and those blessings and those things in life that really bring us joy, and thriving from that, because that is the bones that we want to build from. So these structures, and don't forget about her, High Priestess. She's saying, you know, at that higher level, if I have to really look at things from this through this other lens, when I'm in that spot, when my higher self is behind the driver's seat, that's an available lens for me to look at a situation that might otherwise have me feeling a little more like that energy, right? There's a place for this, certainly. That's a moment that we spend and we move through those storms, and then we come into celebrating me home to my heart, into that place of knowingness, and the high priestess coming in saying that that's available to us to celebrate and to really build from there, to rebuild from there. And it might end up looking a lot different than we thought, but yet we find ourselves home when we are able to see it from that, through that perspective, through that lens. So that's coming in for you as a message here with these two cards and a bonus. And the squirrel. Let me see who else is in here. I don't know if there's mushrooms or... Yeah, there's all the goodies here. But we got the squirrel, Rob. All right, who else do we have on here? Erin, okay. Thank you, guys. I know I know some people might have to go. No worries, I'm here. Make sure everybody who would like a card gets one. You're welcome, Colleen. Card for Erin. Card for Erin. Okay. All right, Erin, let's see. It looks like we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is one of those cards that can have to do with having a lot of work, a lot of shouldering a lot of work, shouldering a lot of the things. I think we might even have talked about this before. So we see there's like kind of like what I was saying earlier for Rob with the Seven of Pentacles, that pause and sort of assessing but persevering. The Nine of Wands also has us assessing all that we're holding and carrying ourselves, and asks us if we need to carry and shoulder all that ourselves, or if there's a way for us to divvy up some of that or to eliminate some of those things. And sometimes those things feel like a barrier, a block that's like keeping us, like we have this one big wand that we really want to wield, and yet we feel blocked or held back somehow by all these others. And what I like to say about this one is like, yes, that fence might need a little repair, but it's not necessarily something that she couldn't step over, and move over. So it's like looking at having a lot of responsibilities or a lot of things going on, things that might keep us from getting to focus on one primary wand or something that's really what we want to focus on. At the end of the day, what matters to me most is this wand. Have all these. You're feeling that a lot. Okay. So again, why do these things show up? Because if something needs to be recalibrated in my scales, in the element of giving and receiving, of reciprocity, of how much I'm putting in, if it weren't for feeling the weight and the burden of all those things, would it come to my attention that some repairs were needed, that some shifting around was needed, right? So, again, how can I see of the things that I can control where I might be able to make some adjustments, and really looking at that to see how we can try to recalibrate the scales a bit for that. And in sort of prioritizing, the things that we must do, must have, must put our energy into versus things that maybe we feel like an obligation or an attachment to or an expectation or something that at the end of the day, ... and see where we might be able to remove some of those barriers. Your grandmother used to say, this too shall pass. Step back, take a pause on some things, yes, and reassess. And that was actually, for the Empowerment Pack group, our January reading, the overarching energy of the moon was a card called Assessing. And she was on top of a purple hot air balloon with a telescope, and she was looking out and she was assessing. So she stepped back, she rose above, and how did she do that? How did she move that hot air balloon? She's got to drop some of those sandbags. I have to drop some of that weight in order to be able to rise up to see from that perspective. So yes, the expectations, and that is heavy. The weight of others' expectations, perhaps our own expectations, shoulding all over ourselves. I said that earlier. If you didn't hear me say that, is about the things that we should be doing. And again, the expectations, the people pleasing, things that, and sometimes we might find that we've been carrying all that around and like just kind of head down, like doing all the things out of expectation, obligation, fill in the blank. And then like kind of when we check in sometimes, it's like, do they really expect me to do that? Because sometimes I'm doing things and I'm like, who is this for? And, does anybody really care? Or is it like, and so sometimes we glean those new perspectives when we really step back. So you feel like you may have been a little too hard on yourself lately. Oh, well, that's perfect. Once you see it, you have to, this is another thing, feel it to heal it. If you didn't feel the weight of the expectations, if you didn't feel the weight of the shoulding all over yourself, you wouldn't know that it's something that could stand to be healed. So that's actually a gift, right? I know it doesn't feel like that in the moment, but we're switching our perspective to see, I can't control the traffic, I can't control the weather, my attitude. So now you see it. And the goal is to see it from a place of non-judgment, to see it from a place of not judging myself of like, why was I doing that? I always do that. That's not helpful. That's not on the list of, at the end of the day, what matters to me is. So I can just cut that right out. I'm going to try something new. I've been down that road. I know where that goes. It leads to me carrying a whole bunch of wands that have no business being strapped to my back. So that's all perspective, right? So kind of feel that hot air balloon and the idea of like, we're taking a trip. Like, I'm here, I can come back here anytime. I know this is my comfort zone. This is my go-to. This is my way that I normally do things. But I'm going to detach from that for a minute. I'm going to get into my chariot, hot air balloon, and I'm going to drop some of those things, sandbags, in order to rise above and just check it out from the air up there. And just see it. Just allow yourself to explore that. You can go back down there. I know that's comfortable and familiar, but just allow yourself to spend some time up there. And so, I like that, Rob. Removing the posts from that fence one at a time until the barrier is gone. Yes, and actually, as I said previously to Brittany about just picking one wand, like the things you want to build with, one at a time. You can also remove the broken down old wands that you're no longer wanting to hold one at a time. That's beautiful, Rob. Thank you. Removing them one at a time to clear those barriers in order to wield and look, mine's bigger than yours is. You got all this going on. All this, it's all shown up for you in order to bring it to your attention and ultimately step over, move through, and allow you to really embrace what matters to you at the end of the day. So that's awesome. So the point is to celebrate your awareness that you've noticed that, and that you're in a place of knowing that you want to spend some time looking at it from this detached observation position. Where you're allowing yourself to see something, but I say, not from a place of judgment, but from a place of just observing in a detached way. So that's really beautiful too. Awesome. All right, let's see. Yeah, that's great. Who do we have next? Kendra. Okay, time for Kendra's card. Get one for Kendra. You're welcome, Erin. Card for Kendra. Okay, we got 4 of Pentacles coming in here. So the Four of Pentacles, just check all that out because there's a lot going on there. She's got her change purse with her pentacles. There's like a whole village down there. Four of Pentacles can have to do with saving. So again, Pentacles tends to speak to money and resources, material. So there's an aspect of saving, financially planning, putting things away in order to save for something, or in some way restructuring finances in that regard. Let me just look at this. Yeah, I feel like, similar, and you always get the fours too. So, like the fours are very much about the structure and the foundation. So continuing on your quest that you've shared before about wanting to celebrate yourself home, right? That's our theme coming in this month. And all the fours, part of that process is really looking at all your pentacles. And again, it's not just money, it's energy as our commodity. What are we putting our energy into? What are we giving to others? What are we spending? And it's bringing in the Six of Pentacles as well because of that, those scales, and recalibrating and adjusting and really feeling into, and her eyes are closed. Like, I kind of feel like the way she's looking at, like, whether that's like a village or a town or like the, other sources, it's like sort of allowing yourself to have some of this for yourself, and not allowing like this energy to be something that's taking from your purse, and sometimes I'm not feeling it here, but like sometimes the Four of Pentacles can have more like a hoarding, like holding on to things, but this actually feels more like a necessary, like planning, strategizing, saving, being mindful of your pentacles and whatever they are. And like the different colors could speak to the different, not just money, but time, energy, but also what I'm seeing here is like the different chakras. So root chakra, heart chakra, solar plexus, and throat chakra. So deposits that you're making into your own change purse in each of those areas, that you're holding on to. And rightfully so. Like, in other words, it feels like a yes, do that, in order to keep aligning your foundation and your structure to get things built for you, because you're in the process of building this new next chapter for you and your family, is what I'm feeling there for you with the Four of Pentacles. Yeah. So let's see. We have anybody next? Oh, Kendra, it was yours. We finished it. Let me just show you real quick, and then I'll go back and I'll find it for you so you can watch it. You got the Four of Pentacles. So we were talking about all the savings and planning and structuring for you. So I will find that for you. I'm sorry. That stinks when that happens. Mercury retrograde. Dagnabbit. All right, chastity. Okay. Chastity, I'm sorry. Okay. All right, let's get a card for chastity here. Oh, good. Okay, so you're able to find the timestamp. Perfect. All right, card for chastity. Okay, another four. We got the Four of Cups. This is a beautiful card too. So this is a card that can speak to a little bit of like apathy, boredom, being unenthused with the cups that you have in front of you, right? And cups represent emotion. It's the water element, so it's like the feels. And we've been talking about this full moon in Cancer, and being that, we may be finding ourselves very much in the feels, but also just in general, what the cups are saying is like, these things I have in front of me, like I'm just not all that like I'm not feeling kind of flat, like not very impressed. What happens is though, when we're hyper focused on what we aren't digging, we could miss that there is this other cup coming in with this beautiful rainbow offering that we're not seeing because we're focusing that way. It's kind of reminding me of the message that we got here with fulfillment, because the advice was to focus on all of the good juiciness, all the blessings in our life, all the things that do light us up, that do fulfill us, that do leave us feeling joyful. And so when we do that, we attract more of the same, and it enables us, like, I'm like on a mission to find the goodies. Like, even if I'm not jazzed with all this going on, like, I'm making it my job to look for the blessing, because I know it's here. I just haven't seen it yet. And just because I don't see it doesn't mean it isn't here. So there's like a feeling of that too, like a blessing that's coming into you, some offering that you just haven't seen yet, but it's there. And so, you know, again, this shift in perspective. Yeah, I really feel like, see that tree? I feel like there is this message from the peach and the fulfillment for you that had to do too with, whether you heard it or not, we were talking about letting go of the stuff that doesn't bring you joy, letting go of these cups. It's okay to let those cups go in order to make space for this, the new that wants to come in. So there's an opportunity to release and let go in order to allow this to come in. So that's what I have coming in for you. Hopefully you're on to get that. But again, the replay will be here for anybody who doesn't catch it. Oh yeah, of course Matt can get a card pull. Jen, is there anybody after Chastity, or I can pull for Matt? Oh good, Chastity, you're here, okay. So you've been feeling really bored with something in your life and trying endlessly to find something more fulfilling. Yeah. It's not going to show up in any of those cups, right? So it's like we definitely like a shift in perspective for sure, and seeing things. Perhaps it could be there. Some hidden blessings even. Awesome. Okay, so Jen, I'll pull for Matt. And then you. I was going to say, you didn't get your card yet. This one's for Matt. Yeah. Okay, Chastity. Yeah, I definitely like, and that's been coming up here a lot for a lot of people tonight with those wands that we really want to focus on versus the wands that we're having to focus on. And here they're showing up for you as those cups for sure. Hey, Janet, welcome. Okay, this one's for Matt. Card for Matt. Ooh, I love this one. Okay, this is the Three of Pentacles. So the Three of Pentacles is a card of collaboration, of coming together and creating something. And here specifically, they're macrameing. And what I love about this version is I see traffic lights. So it's, I'm sorry, chariot references abounding. We're not getting out of this. Traffic lights, following the traffic patterns. But it's about following those signals to follow when to go, when to slow, when to stop. And so there's this aspect of tuning into following those threads of energy, because something really cool here that had been pointed out to me, I think it was you, Billy Joe, if you're still on, is that each thread is one of the colors. So he, at the top here, is bringing in the green, she's bringing in the red, and here's the yellow. So kind of tuning into how it, you know, it takes many different strands of energy to weave this creation, to weave this this beautiful finished product that we're all a part of. It's like a very collaborative effort. And so Three of Pentacles can be about communing with others, working with others to create something. Also like consulting. So you can be consulting an expert in a field too, because Three of Pentacles can speak to like building something, making a repair, like creating something that you have like you meet with like an architect, or you meet with, you know, an expert in their field to make a plan. And you know what? That speaks to me because Mel gets that, where there's 3 and the 3 represent her family. So yes, so Jennifer's pointing out that this can be Matt, Mel, and Elliot. So it's like bringing in each of the strands that are all a necessary part of the whole to bring in collaboration and creation, weaving something. But again, being very in tune with the energies. So, you know, sometimes we might be really forward moving quickly in what we're creating, making a lot of headway. And other times it might slow, you know, and need to be something that we kind of do with a bit of hesitation, but like caution, but more just like I have to kind of slow down or pull back from that because my energy is needed elsewhere. Remember, these are pentacles. So again, we're talking about money, safety, security, our resources. So 6 of Pentacles that was coming in as our Friday card, talking about balancing those scales of giving, receiving, of the energy output. And then the red, of course, for stopping, you know, for taking a break, for pausing, for stepping back. So in any way that might speak to you, I always bring the traffic lights in when it helps me to kind of have a perspective on the energy output, you know, and the flow of energy, and being mindful of those signals to know when to, Kenny Rogers coming in here now, know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, when to run. I'm sorry, guys. After 9:30, all bets are off. Like, it's gonna get punchy from here. But Matt, thank you. I'm so excited to pull a card for someone new. Welcome. Anytime. That was your message. Okay, so we're gonna pull for Jen, and then for Janet, I think I'm seeing, but I want to make sure. I'm trying not to sing tonight. All right, let's pull this card for Jennifer. All right, I'll do you, Jennifer, because I said that, and then I'll get Janet next. Ooh, a couple winking at me there. Card for Jennifer. Let's see. We've got the Major Arcana card, Justice. Actually, I love this card too. Look at those scales again, the balancing. So Justice is bringing in that aspect of justice and bringing in balance, karmic, even like karma balancing. And also, like, this does give a nod to like literal, like legal, and working through like formal processes. So I'm thinking all the things I know you're dealing with right now with the workman's comp and figuring out, you know, where to go next with that. So there's a little nod to that for sure. But the other thing I like to point out here is that you see this reflection, but actually it's not the same person. So it speaks to seeing, recognizing within, from ourself in another, you know, things that are reflected back to us in order to bring in some of the balance into our life. And the fact that this also depicts the sword also is like that truth, that clarity, that cutting through of getting really clear and having that sort of become clear to us. And so in our efforts to balance these scales and look at the giving and the receiving and the energy output between us and others, there's an invitation there to bring in that balance. So, you know, it's a good card because it's saying, I mean, they're all, I don't mean that because it's a good card, but I mean, like, the message is that you're in the right position, the upper hand here, of being able to restore some balance in the name of bringing justice into the situation, whatever it may be. So, you know, definitely coming up for me is some of the specific, you know, formal processes that you're going through right now, following your intuition on that, as far as next steps, and, you know, getting out there and it's speaking your truth and expressing, and also like cutting through the BS. I'm getting now like cutting through the red tape, you know, cutting through all of that in order to bring in some balance. So we have that coming in here with the Justice card for you. Okay. All right, now we're going to pull for Janet. And so, Janet, I'm just pulling a card for you. It's a personal card for you. You're welcome, Jen. We've talked about the week ahead energies and just kind of tuning into all of us collectively. And then, thank you, Rob. And then we're pulling in just for you. I'm setting the intention for a message just for you. We kind of factor in all the other things that have come forward and how that might show up for you this week. But it feels like the messages are a little deeper tonight. They're a little beyond just this week, and I think that's because it's the beginning of the year where we're kind of really feeling into that as well. So we want a card here for Janet. I just saw that card. That's funny. Okay, another ace. We've almost covered all the aces tonight. Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords is bringing in a message, a new beginning, an offering of just one sword. So earlier we talked about this card, the Seven of Swords, and sometimes having like a lot of like noisy things coming in, like thoughts, ideas. It can be like overthinking things, or just being in a place of like just kind of being overwhelmed with all that chatter. And sometimes that can be in our own head, or from the peanut gallery, you know, this noisy guy right here. But the Ace of Swords brings in that clarity of just one aha moment, one idea, one truth of a seed of clarity coming in. And the reason that this is like one of my favorite versions is because Jen knows that I love ammonite fossil. I love the nautilus shell, like the energy of the spiral. And so what this shows is, as you know, these thoughts, these ideas, these things that we go through, and it feels like a sense of like coming around again to something that maybe we thought we already cleared, we already addressed, and yet here I am again thinking about this thing, or finding myself having to expend all this mental energy about this and feeling like kind of exasperated about that. But actually, each time we come around again, we're coming at it now with the new awarenesses, the wisdom that we've gleaned from having gone through something like this before. The vibration of whatever that is, that thought or that situation is presenting for us, and the idea that I'm coming at it now with what I know now, with what I experienced on that step and this step. This was the Hierophant, which is our how are we growing energy of learning and expanding. And so, you know, when we feel that sword's energy coming in, and it's familiar because we've experienced it before in some form, we're coming at it now with these new perspectives, with this new wisdom, with this new awareness that we have. So, and if that's not like, you know, if you're not really feeling really up in your head right now, or really stirring things around in any way, it can also just be the arrival of like one bright idea, one aha, which is also what this was saying. So these are two aces that are happening up here, and they both have their eyes closed. So I love that, because that feels like going within in our intuition, tuning in, and really getting clear on something. So whether it's something that you've been like really wanting clarity on, or unexpectedly just getting it, you know, that comes in. So let me see. You received your visualization from 2 years ago just today. Been living the peanut gallery far too long. Yes. So that's exactly what this card was saying. Don't let anyone steal your joy, and especially the peanut gallery, you know? And so not your first rodeo, right? So you're coming around again to having that aha. And so either, you know, and that's something that's going to just periodically is going to come around again, especially during Mercury retrograde, because Mercury retrograde is going backwards, where things from the past, people from the past, situations from the past might be coming back up again for us to look at again, you know? And so that's just the nature of the ebb and flow of things coming and moving through. So again, you come at it now with tools, with this treasure chest that you've been building for 2 years, you know, your whole life, but, you know, very consciously perhaps in the last 2 years. So now, you know, when you feel that come in, where's my tools? Bring them on out, you know? So there's definitely an aspect of that in the business. Okay, yeah. So that's definitely energies that we've seen here tonight about those boundaries and about speaking our truth, about having to cut through things. And that's exactly what the swords element does. The swords suit is talking about cutting through clarity. And like I said, not always just in the head. Swords for me too is like throat chakra energy of speaking our truth, of expressing ourselves, of communicating. So definitely that can be coming in, and combined with all the wands that we've seen and all the pentacles we've seen tonight, definitely that would be in the realm of business as well. So that's awesome. These are all, the aces are all very much like messages and offerings coming in. Beautiful. Aha moment. Yes. Awesome. Was there anybody else, Jen? Oh, we're done. Okay, we got to the end of the list. Oh, you're welcome. See that? I love that. Your higher self brought you in here and you asked for the card and you got the confirmation. I love it. Awesome. Oh, that's okay. I just wanted to be like, you guys are welcome. So I'll put in the comments picture of the cards and just all the little follow-ups and things, and then I'll put the link to the playlist I have for the 2023 messages in case you want to check any of that out. It's just kind of a collective energy read on what's on deck for the year ahead. So I just want to thank you guys all for joining, and like I said in the group earlier today, that I do intend on making this a recurring thing on Sundays, making it official. So I have to go in and create the events, but Sundays at 8 p.m. is my target. Of course, family life and things sometimes will shift things, but I know we're all familiar with that. So more to come, but I thank you all so much for joining me, and I am sending you all so much love wherever you are, whatever, how many hearts you have, all the things where we started here tonight. What you're working through, remember that you're not alone, that we do have this beautiful, beautiful resource here. So thank you all so, so much, and you're beautiful, and I love you, and I'm sending you so much love and many blessings. Take good care.